So hey guys, so welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're gonna take a look at the other ways of farming credits. Now I already made a video about farming credits in the index, which is by far the fastest way of farming huge amounts of credits if you can do it. So if you want to check that out, you can either click the annotation that's on the screen right now or the link in the description. But if you don't want to run the index arena, whether you're burned out on it or you just don't like the game mode overall, this video is what you're looking for. Now, if you're just here for the location of the best farming spots as far as credits are concerned, it is still the Dark Sector Defense Akkad on Ares and the Dark Sector Excavation Herecan on Pluto. So if that's all you needed to know, you can leave right now, because all I'm gonna do in this video is tell you how to maximize the amount of credits you get from these two missions. And let's start off with Herecan on Pluto, which is slightly better than Akkad. Now, there are a few things that make Herecan really good for credit farming. Number one, it's a high-level mission, so you get 4,400 credits for finishing it. Number two, it's a high-level Dark Sector mission, so you get additional 20,000 credits for finishing it. Number three, it's incredibly fast and can be done with essentially any setup, and it only takes about 3 to 3.5 minutes to do an excavator and extract. Number four, Rotation A, which is the first excavator and the only one we're going to be doing, has a very high chance of giving you a credit cache, and this can be like a 2.5k credit cache or even a 3k credit cache, and every now and then you're going to get an endo pack, which is really nice as well. And number five, the enemy spawning is fairly dense even in solo mode, so you're going to make a nice chunk of credit from just drops as well. Now, even though you can do this with virtually any setup, as long as you're of course able to defend the excavator, bringing Secure Electa will increase the amount of credits you get from here by quite a bit. And unfortunately, no, bringing Effigy Chroma or even Desecrate Necros isn't going to increase the amount of credits you get by a ton anymore. I did a truckload of testing on Akkad after they nerfed the Effigy Electa combo, and Effigy doesn't seem to give you too many extra credits anymore, and neither does Desecrate, which was fairly surprising. Secure Electa, on the other hand, would double and sometimes even triple the amount of credits I got there, so it's definitely the most important piece of kit you can bring if you're credit farming. So the way you want to do this is go to Herecan, do the first excavator, go to the extraction, and repeat this until you have enough credits. If you want to get the highest amount of credits you can per run, bring Effigy Chroma with Secure Electa. If you want to get some resources while you're at it, bring Necros with either a slash-based weapon for more resources or Secure Electa for more credits. And if you want to do it the safest way possible, I would once again recommend Secure Electa so you get more credits, but bring either Frost that's built for Snow Globe or Vauban that's built for Bastille. Now, this will take you about 3 to 3.5 minutes to complete, but let's just go with 4 as a worst case scenario, so you can do it about 15 times in an hour. And the lowest amount of credits that I managed to get was 25,341 when I got an endo pack. So if you can't multiply the credits in any way, you have really bad luck and the excavators spawn all over the place and you don't get a lot of credit drops, you're gonna get about 380,000 credits every hour. But this is literally the worst case scenario, which is probably never going to happen to anyone, so you're probably gonna get more than that. I was averaging somewhere around 540,000 credits per hour, and I did most of my runs with Frost and whatever weapon I just felt like using. And before we move on to Akkad, I just quickly want to mention two things. So number one, if you're short on Cryotic and you're doing Herecan, you can trigger any excavators you come across as you're running to extraction, and sometimes the infested will break them before you extract, giving you a little bit of extra Cryotic. And the second tip is that the first mission you do after you get your daily logging reward is going to give you double credits. Now, you can just go and do Herecan with this, or even Akkad or any other mission that's going to give you a lot of credits, but what a lot of people will do is they will do the first 2 sorties in one day, and then they will leave the third sortie so that they can do it after they get their logging reward and they get double credits from that. Because sorties, especially the third one, will give you a lot of credits as well. Now let's move on to Akkad on Ares. This was for a while, before they nerfed the Effigy Electa combo, the best place for farming credits. You would bring 2 Chromas, Eevee Trinity and Necros, you would do 40 waves and you would end up with like 1 million credits. But since the nerf, I dare to say it's not worth it to go above wave 5 anymore. It's just better to apply the Herecan method. You do 5 waves, extract, do 5 more, extract, and so on and so on and so on until you have enough credits. And don't get me wrong, you can still get a decent amount of credits by just jumping in with a group of friends and going ham for 40 waves. It's a lot more fun to actually play the game and have a giggle with your mates while you're running a specialized group than to repeat the same mission over and over and over again for hours. But enough about that, let's take a look at why Akkad is almost as good as Herecan for farming credits. So it's once again a very high level mission, so you get 4,400 credits for finishing it, but unlike Herecan, you only get 18,000 additional credits from it being a dark sector mission. The enemy spawning here is very dense, especially if you're in a full party, so you're gonna get a nice chunk of credits from just kills. And finally, the best feature of Akkad, it only has one tile set, and the tile set is really good. The tile set is really small and the infested runs straight towards the cryopod, so you can easily do 5 waves in about 3 to 4 minutes. And this is what elevates Akkad above missions like Satura on Pluto. Otherwise, Satura would be better than Akkad because it also has a 20,000 credit payout like Herecan. But the tile sets are nowhere near as good as Akkad. One of them is really small and it's basically just like Akkad and it can be done in about 3 to 4 minutes, but the other two are much larger and the infested will run around all over the place, so it will take you somewhere between 5 to 6 minutes to finish it. Now, there are 2 setups that I would recommend for farming Akkad. The first one is a combination of speed and raw credit drops, where you take Nova that's modded for negative power strength with Secura Lecta, where you speed up the enemies with Molecular Prime and you get the credit bonus from Secura Lecta. This is a little bit slower than the second setup, but it still allows you to finish the mission in about 3.5 minutes while still getting the credit bonus from Secura Lecta. And the second setup just focuses on speed, so you can get the big credit payout as often as possible. And this would be something like Quaking Banshee, which can do a lot of AoE damage and allows you to finish the mission in about 3 minutes. But most of the time you will either get very little or even no bonus credits from Secura Lecta, since you're killing all the enemies with your abilities. And while this is not as good as Herecan, it is still very close. I was personally averaging around 500,000 credits every hour. So it is a great alternative if you get sick of farming Herecan. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope the video was helpful and I will see you next time. Bye bye!